You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Hello, John. How are you, buddy?
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. Our next guest is a self-proclaimed smart aleck from Bridgeport, Connecticut, who learned the value of hard work long before he stepped in front of the camera. He used to frame houses, worked as a deckhand on a fishing boat. Then he took that blue-collar attitude and helped create one of television's most iconic characters. And then later became Pixar's official good luck charm. He's with us today, and he's back. Wisecracking jokes in that piggy bank in Toy Story 5. Let's welcome in John Ratzenberger. What's up, John?
Well, thank you for that introduction. It's just, you made me think about my years doing the at sea with the fishing boat. And anyway, I digress.
Yeah, you were a hardworking man, didn't you? You shucked oysters or something like that. What was your job?
I had my first job at 9 years old.
Wow.
That's how long it's been.
Well, hard to believe it's been a long time since Toy Story came out. 1995. Here we are some 30 years later. Do you remember that first audition for Hamm? Can you remember back then, 31 years ago or so?
I don't think it was an audition. I think they were using my character's voice from Cheers when they were rendering Hamm. And so John Lasseter just said, well, let's give the guy a call, see if he'll do the voice. And so that's how it started.
You didn't even have to audition for the gig. It just got it. And isn't it true you at some point did 22 straight Pixar films? Did you get to a point where you just didn't even ask for the script? You just said, sign me up. What am I now? Am I a snowman? Am I a Mack truck? How does it work?
Well, the same thing. I never asked for the script. I just show up. And I read the lines for the first time right there at the recording, the first time I see the script. Because I think if you see the script beforehand, you start getting these thoughts and maybe I should play like this. And when it's just there, it surprises you. You do your best work.
Well, we're all excited, especially my kids. Toy Story 5 hits theaters June 19th. Make sure you go see it. And what's interesting about this particular Toy Story is the old style toys going up against this new technology, the device. Back in 95, Buzz Lightyear was, he was the cat's meow, but now he's kind of old news with these new devices. When you look at like a piggy bank, a dinosaur, or a cowboy doll, what can those original toys, you think, teach a kid that these phones and devices can't?
Well, as a kid, you use your imagination with real toys. And even before real toys, you used to make your own toys, believe it or not. I was right at the cusp of that generational thing where my father, remember, he made some of the toys that he used to make as a kid for us. And I think that's why I became a carpenter. You just put your hands to it and you make it and do it yourself. And in the 50s, being a kid, your toys were a rock, a stick.
Yeah.
But you use your imagination much more. Video games, you don't use it all. They tell you what to imagine. But before computers, you use your imagination.
I remember my favorite toys were like Matchbox cars. I also was a big wrestling fan. I like to play with my wrestlers and my G.I. Joes. Was your favorite toy a rock? I mean, what was a toy that was in your toy box when you were, 7, 8 years old back in the late 50s?
Oh, boy. A BB gun.
You didn't shoot your eye out, did you? It looks like you can see all right.
No. A pirate ship. Remember, I don't know, I haven't seen it ever since, but a pirate ship that the cannons worked, you pull it back and a little spring and you shot up cannon balls. And I spent a lot of time with that.
That sounds fun. When you think about the character Cliff Clavin, and then I also think about Hamm, it seems like two completely different work days. On Cheers, you got that live studio audience, full cast, probably a lot of stress, cameras everywhere. Hamm, you're probably in a studio by yourself, reading a couple of lines. Can you set the scene for a typical day of what filming was like for Cheers, and then a typical day of playing that piggy bank?
Well, it's just time, really. It's no difference to me. I mean, but they're both part of the acting world, whether you're doing a recording or whether you're doing a real character. But at the time, like Cheers, took a week to do. With Pixar, it takes a couple hours, 3 hours maybe, to do the recording. And that's the difference.
And you're not in a room with the other characters, right? You just get your lines and you can't really bounce off the other actors. Do you have a director in your ear, telling you, hey, deliver it a little this way, a little better that way?
I came up with a system where here's the line. I'll give you 5 different versions of that line. Go and choose one of them, or one that's close, and say, yeah. And they'll come back and say things like, well, yeah, the third one was the best, but shorten it a little. And so you make the adjustments as you go along, but it makes the session go a lot faster than them discussing each line and then coming back to you. So you give them 5 different versions of the line, and bum, bada, bum, before you know it, you're out the door.
Bada bing, bada boom, it's done. If I'm not mistaken, John, Cliff Clavin wasn't really a character that was fully developed when you walked into that audition.
Didn't exist.
And you kind of created. All you know is they said, hey, we need a guy to crack jokes at the bar, and you were like, I'm in. How did that go? How did you create that character?
Oh, well, I really failed the auditions. See, I never went to acting school. I didn't have the advantage. And so I walked in. I'd never auditioned before in my life before Cheers.
How do you get a gig when you've never been an actor? Why do they call you? What did you do to catch their eye?
Well, I worked in Europe for 10 years, performing my own comedy shows with partner Ray Hassett. It was a good 8 years I did that. And then came to Los Angeles on a writing job. I was doing that writing job. Somebody said, hey, they're doing a show down at Paramount. It takes place at a bar, New England. You're from New England, aren't you? I said, yeah. So anyway, the guy got me in, and that's how I got the Cheers audition.
And then how do you create the character when you come in? Because they didn't really have it written that the mailman is going to be sitting at the corner of the bar, correct? You kind of helped them create that persona.
That kind of helped him. I created it. He's based on a guy. It was a guy named Sarge, who had a place at the corner of the bar where my father hung out, and I basically kind of took off on him. The guy who was a know-it-all. He knew everything, and that's right. So I was leaving, and I said, "Hey, do you have a bar know-it-all?" And they said, "What are you talking about?" And I picked up a pen off a desk, and I did 5 minutes with this pen. And boom, I got him to laugh. That's all I wanted. I wanted to leave with my dignity. Because like I said, I worked in London a long time, making audiences laugh. I just wanted them to know that I knew what I was doing. And I left. I was supposed to go back to London the next day, as a matter of fact. And I got the call. They wanted to try the character out for 7 episodes. So I stayed. 11 years later, bum, bada, bum.
Yeah, 11 years we watched you guys sitting around that bar, big mugs, cold beer, Cheers. Was that Hollywood magic, or were those real beers? How often did you get to throw down a nice glass of suds, or was it always like an O'Doul's or something like that?
It was, it was like fake beer. It was terrible. But sometimes when the show, when we were there later, we tell the pop man, look, just put a couple of Heinekens in here, will you?
Is that Cliff Clavin's beer of choice? Is a Heineken? Is that your favorite beer?
No, whatever they had on hand, I didn't care. But I'm not a beer drinker anyway. But just for the taste, we didn't do it too often. But when the show went late, if we were working till like 11 o'clock at night, so okay, come on. So not often, but sometimes.
We're talking with John Ratzenberger. He's the voice of Hamm in Toy Story 5, the new film hitting theaters June 19th. Finds Hamm, Woody, Buzz, and the entire gang facing their biggest challenge yet, the toys taking on technology. Make sure you go see it on June 19th. After 11 years in that bar, You got to know the cast pretty well, I'm sure. Who was most like their character in real life, and who was the complete opposite of their character?
Oh boy. Oh, that's a good question. I'd never given that any thought. Uh, they're all wonderful people. Geez, George liked his beer. He was a beer drinker, that's for sure.
So he would have fit right in at that bar in real life.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was a very smart man too. Very well read.
Well, one of my favorite Pixar films, John, to switch gears, pun intended. Let's go to that Mack truck when you played Mack in the movie Cars. You're the big rig hauling Lightning McQueen around the country. Of course, you get tired, you fall asleep, and everything goes to shit. But I heard that your dad was a truck driver. And
yeah, that's right.
Did he even drive Mack trucks? Is that true?
He did. He did. As a matter of fact, originally, I think they had that character as a Kenworth or Peterbilt. I'm not sure. But John asked me what kind of truck my father drove, and I said, "Oh, Mack," and that's how Mack came to be.
Yeah, that's a great movie. And is this going to be the last Toy Story? Do you know, or do you think they're going to just keep making these things? Have they told you this is the last one, or they're going to keep the door open?
I never asked. They'd ever tell me. I don't know.
And any chance of a Cheers reunion? Did they ever get you guys all back together for a reunion at some point, or you think that's never going to happen?
I don't think that's possible. It was such a lightning in a bottle moment when you had the writers and the actors all coming together and the chemistry we all had on set. And I think the bar itself was a character in the show. I don't think that'll ever be reduplicated, yeah. A lot of shows have tried setting things in a bar and said, and you can tell that they tried to copy Cheers, but it'll never happen again.
I love that show you did on the Travel Channel a while back called Made in America, where you went. I remember the episode where you went where they made the Louisville Slugger bats. That was such a great show. What was the episode that you enjoyed filming the most on that show? Because I really liked it.
Just the John Deere factory was one of my favorites. And I think it comes down to color, the John Deere green. I don't know, but I always liked the artistry of people who worked in factories and people who formed things into other things, taking raw materials and make it. That's magic to me. And that's the reason I did the show. I wanted to pay honor to those people who get up in the morning, go to work, and make something.
Nothing runs like a deer, and nobody can read a Pixar script quite like John Ratzenberger. How many Pixar films have you done? Do you keep track? I read on the internet it says 22. Do you think that's about accurate? Is the internet right?
I'll go with 22.
I've
never counted. I don't know.
That's good. That's a lot of checks. 22 checks from Pixar. I wouldn't complain.
You need a couple of bucks? I got my wallet here.
Yeah, sure, John. Send me a few shekels. That'd be nice.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate you spending some time with us today. I can't wait to see Toy Story 5. What do you do, John? We'll leave you with this because people are interested. What do you do when you're not working? What's a perfect day for John not working? What are you doing?
Oh, boy. I take out the garbage. That's my job at home.
Some dishes, maybe?
Clean out the garage. No, my wife won't let me do the dishes. I tried. She said, "Get out of here." So,
yeah, you'll break a glass or something, probably.
Yeah, no, I hang with my grandchildren, and I don't know.
Well, enjoy life and keep living, John. We're big fans, and we can't wait to see the movie June 19th. I really appreciate your time, and cheers to you, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Take care.